I'll fill you in. I made the announcement last week, but I'm officially running for mayor for Phoenix. You
That's
cool with it?
so great. You're running for mayor. That makes my heart like so happy.
I just felt it was time. Like from the handling and just kind of seeing COVID, and our mayor was like just absent. And this is the fifth largest city in America. I'm from Houston. I lived in LA for 5 years. I lived in Dallas. I lived in Albuquerque. So I've definitely done radio across the Southwest. And I've been speaking to people for 21 years, 5 to 6 days a week. With the murder of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. Locally, we had a guy named
Oh
Dean
my
Johnson who was
goodness.
killed while sleeping. They took him out of the car on the freeway. They shot him. They had ambulances
Oh,
100 feet away, and there's still no answers. They're not even releasing who the officer, the state trooper is, and so many things. So I'm like, the protests we have here, the marches, but I'm like,
and what
nobody's
about this young woman who I didn't I'm going to look at her name because I
uh,
didn't have it. And there's so many that people are like, "Oh, that happened months ago," that I'm just becoming aware of. And I have to tell
are you
you,
talking about the soldier,
yeah, what is
Vanessa,
wait? Yes.
in Fort Hood?
It's unbelievable. And I think honestly the systemic corruption that I think we were aware of it to a degree always, but I
Mhm.
think now it is
It's out.
yeah, there it is. It's out. It no longer seems like a rarity
Right.
or the like now it seems like the norm. Like, oh, this is going on and getting worse. And that broke my heart too. 'Cause
Yeah.
I all of it.
Every case is tragic, right? But
Everyone.
to know that if you can't even be protected while serving in the U.S. Army, in our
While serving
military,
in the US Army,
that is mind blowing.
where you're literally signing up to say, I potentially am willing to give my life because I believe in the values of this country.
Yes.
And in serving that, you are then um, you are a victim of the other portion of this country, and
Right.
you don't have a safe space to go and tell that. And there is a whole system of corruption that the people who are supposed to protect you not only know about, but they're actually doing that right there. I'm sorry, I
No, no,
digress
no, and
from
that's
that,
why there's an
but that's why I
additional
love that you're
reward.
running for mayor.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why, like that, and just so many cases. And I don't if you're so Phoenix had a sheriff named Joe Arpaio for years. He was the one that made the people in Tent City outside, and the inmates were all pink. And SB 1070, which is racial profiling, basically, where they can pull anybody over, ask if you're a citizen or not, and ship you out if not. Like it was just a lot of bad racial profiling. Well, we had a new sheriff elected a couple years ago, Sheriff Penzone, and I had him on my show. And because he was the only one, the mayor still has not came on our show, and she's been on CNN, MSNBC, all these different things, and still won't address our audience. So I'm like,
Wow.
this is the key. This is black and brown of the city that you need to be. I have 600,000 people that listen every day to my show. And it's like, how do you not address us? The chief of police, she won't come on. They send me like a community person with the Phoenix Police Department. I'm like, look, no offense, but I had the sheriff on the first time that a sheriff's been on in almost 20 years on a hip hop station here, because they normally just go to the talk radio station. But in the past 2 weeks, I had the sheriff on, which is the first time we made history by
Yes.
doing that.
Yes.
I met with the sheriff and we talked about Black Lives Matter. We talked about immigration reform. We talked about ICE, and we talked about petty crimes and not arresting people for misdemeanors and just low level offenses. And he
Right.
said, I'm glad you asked about that because I'm actually gathering data right now. And I go, can you share that data with me when it's available? He said, yes. And because of COVID-19, jail levels are at half capacity, but the amount of crime has stayed the same or flattened, right? It hasn't gone up, hasn't gone down, but it's right there, which means that we don't need all these people incarcerated. And so,
No.
especially for low level, just petty offenses that they're out in 24,
No.
48 hours after making bond or bail or whatever they're doing anyway.
Right. Right.
And so I said, well, if you take COVID-19 away, is this something that we can look at as a solution to move forward? Like, I'm running for mayor now. How can I implement this within our own city? So not just the county, then the deputies aren't doing this, but at city level, we don't have to worry about our jails. We can save the
Mm.
taxpayer dollars, and we can save
Mm.
families who can use that money on something else besides having to scrap up something to bail somebody out for jaywalking or whatever the case may be.
And
And
that's hard on families too when
exactly.
you know, because you know what happens? Those families don't want to see their child or cousin or nephew
Right.
or spouse,
Right.
whoever, in jail for a crime like that. So then you're right. That puts another financial strain on
Exactly.
a group of people that are already, you know, financially strained.
We have to have this groundbreaking as far as here to have these dialogues so that way we can open the door for black and brown to not feel like they can't be heard by our sheriff's department and other agencies. So it
That's
was
so
definitely
great.
good. Regina, I don't know if you're ready for this one today, man. That's why I'm telling you, I got a vision here, and it's
No,
time
but
to
it's
change.
so, but it's one thing. It's like you said. It ends up it 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 crosses the board
Hmm.
how it affects us. So what happens is there's a lot of missed opportunity, and parents. Every parent wants their child to have clean water, a good
Right.
school. I mean,
Right.
those should feel basic.
It's human
And
basic rights. Yes. Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yeah,
Yep. And that's what I'm running for on that too. There's just
I love
human
that.
rights and there's basics that everyone should have.
Basics,
It shouldn't be
basics,
it should be no brainers on what should just be a basic human in the
right?
United States of America that every human deserves. Regina, anytime you'd like to come on the show, I like to say my platform is our platform, and so
Oh
you're
yeah.
welcome anytime.
I
And
hope.
and
I hope the next time I come, I'm like I'm talking to the mayor. You know what I
I,
mean? Maybe I can.
you know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
They're like, "Are you going to retire from radio?" I'm like, "I hope not." We just all
I
about
hope.
time management. Just got to find the
Yeah,
right time.
I was about to say I hope not. I'll have to do it at 2 a.m. whenever you get the time.
There we go.